It's Friday, October 13th, 2023. I hope everybody's being safe out there on this day of rage. Keep your head on a swivel, but we should be doing this every day. We should be very aware of our environment, using situational awareness every day. Day of rage or no day of rage, we need to be practicing these skills every day of being aware of our environment and using situational awareness. Now, I jotted down some notes today, printed up some articles I want to share with each and every one of you. And I want to start with this first one from CNBC. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon warns this is the most dangerous time for the world in decades. I agree 110% with Jamie Dimon. And he says it's not just what's happening in Ukraine, it's not what's just happening in Israel, but he says it's the national debt, the US national debt, and the largest peacetime deficits ever. And we're going to see more war, we're going to see more chaos, but one of the biggest threats to us right now is a financial threat. These massive deficits, the massive debts that can never be repaid. And this is, in my opinion, going to be a very, very dangerous threat to the future of this country. And you've got to be protecting yourself, ladies and gentlemen. There are physical threats out there, and there are spiritual threats out there. There are financial threats out there. But right now, in my opinion, the biggest threat to America is the debt. Now, the markets today were a little bit mixed. The Dow Jones was up 39, NASDAQ down 167. Other than the Dow, everything was down. Now, this is very concerning. We saw oil today up $4.74. That is almost 6%, almost up 6% in one day. Gold, as I make this video, is up $62.50. You know, to the troll the other day with the very soft, delicate hands, who said that, you know, I shouldn't be telling people to buy gold, which I don't tell people to buy gold. I'm just telling people I buy gold. You can do whatever you want to do. But if you're looking at gold as a day trader and hoping it's going to go up tomorrow or by next week, you're buying it for all the wrong reasons. You buy gold, you buy silver for wealth protection, for times of uncertainty, for times of chaos, for the chance of a currency collapse. These are reasons you would buy gold. And I hope that person didn't sell all their gold. They said that, you know, they were losing all their money because they bought all this gold. Well, gold is nearly only about $100 from its all-time high. And nothing has really happened here in America that's impacting us that negatively yet. We haven't really seen any chaos here. They're keeping things glued together in the markets. Things are breaking down, there's no doubt about it, but we haven't had any real big major events take place yet. They're going to. This is why I hold gold. This is why a lot of you hold gold. But to these people out there that, you know, as soon as it's going down a little bit, oh my goodness, you better sell. Why do you own it? I own it for emergencies. And now the world is seeing uncertainty across the globe. And we're beginning to realize that inflation isn't going to go away anytime soon. And of course, the challenges and pressures of the US dollar. So as we see more uncertainty, people are going to flock to gold. Once institutional money begins to flock to gold, you'll never be able to get it. We have no idea how high gold can go, but I think we will come to a point that you won't measure your wealth in dollars, you will measure it in ounces. You may not ever take dollars for gold at some point. But this is the time, in my opinion, to be owning real things. If you can own land, if you property that you can raise food on, that's fantastic. Most people cannot do that. But there's no excuses why you can't buy a little bit of silver today, or maybe you can buy some gold today. If you can't buy some land, I think these are the places you want to be. Buying real things, paying down debt. This is what I think people have to be doing. Again, gold up 62.50, silver up 91 cents today. This is how fast things can happen. Can you imagine if we had some catastrophic event take place right here on our soil, what these metals would be doing? And I pray to God that never happens. And I've said this before. We get to a time in America, which we will, and the metals begin to skyrocket. You're living in a whole different place, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I never ever have to sell or use my metals, but they are there for security. Just like I hope I never have to use my car insurance, but it's there for emergency. Now, shifting gears here for a minute, Matt did a show today on his channel, Ox Talks, OX space Talks, TALKS. Myself and Professor Elias were guests on the show, and we were talking about why you need to be getting fit, why you need to be getting in shape, and why you need to be getting in financial shape, and just a slew of things. Very, very good show. Make sure you check it out. Ox Talks, OX space TALKS. Very good show today. I think that you might get something out of it. If you think fitness and training and self-defense is important, check the show out. Another video I want to give a recommendation to, and I was watching this last night, and it really struck home with me. You know, we'll listen to economists and analysts, and we'll look at all the graphs, and we'll look at all the data, but what we should really be looking at is real life and what's happening to people in real life, what's happening in their jobs. And there's a YouTube channel called YouTube Handyman. It's Tube Handyman, YouTube Handyman. And it's titled, No Handyman Jobs, People Are Broke. And this gentleman, I don't know his name, but this video got a lot of views. And he just talked about his world in the handyman business and how it has changed recently and how busy it was. He says that his phone rang for years. He's been in the business for years. He said his phone rang every day for years. And now it has stopped. 3 months ago, he said, I started to notice the phone wasn't ringing as much. 3 weeks ago, everything stopped. 99% of his business 3 weeks ago, the phone calls, the business has stopped. His phone, he said, rang so much that he didn't even have time to call the people back, his prospective clients back, or because he was too busy. He didn't have enough time in the day to call everybody back. He was getting so many calls. He was just too busy. He says the past 2 days, he's only gotten 2 to 3 calls. In the past week, he's only had 2 jobs, most from existing customers. He said, and the customers that he's getting these jobs from, his existing customers, are his well-off customers. He said literally the middle class, lower middle class, they're not calling. They're broke, he says. He's using these words. They're broke. This is a handyman telling you this. He's now, he said, advertising on the internet, on Google, on Craigslist, and he gives recommendations if you're in business, or if you're in this business, that you got to be advertising now. Flyers, Craigslist, the internet, websites, anything you can do. And he said a lot of people, he says the business is just being inundated with competition. People just heading into the handyman business. He said that people who are calling him are looking for a deal. He says his minimum for a call to come out and do a repair, his minimum was $250. Now it's $125, and people are saying, hey, hold on, I'll call you back, because they're shopping his quote, and they're trying to find it cheaper. He says people are getting estimates on $125 jobs. So that means if somebody comes out and does it for $100, they're going to pick that person. He goes on to say that you can only lower your price so far. You got gasoline, his time driving. He has commercial insurance on his vehicle. He's got to pay taxes. He can't show up to your house for $20 or $30. He'll lose money. It's getting tougher and tougher, ladies and gentlemen, to make a dollar. And everyone down to your handyman is feeling the pain. But this is where the reality is. Here's the data that is really telling you and I that we got trouble. This is the real data. You can look at graphs all day. You can watch CNBC. You can watch Fox Business. You can have all these professionals come on and give you all these numbers. But at the end of the day, this handyman is telling us right now what is happening to the U.S. economy. It is freezing up. He said that he had a customer, I thought this was really interesting, that he has worked for 2 years, at least 1 day a week for 2 years at this gentleman's property. He said 4 months ago, he never heard from him again. Basically, what he said was, this gentleman, his client, is a mortgage officer, and that the mortgage officer was working out of his home, now no longer working out of home, had to go into the office because he feels like if he doesn't, they're going to be firing the people who are not working at the office. They're firing the people working at home first. Those are the first ones to go. So this guy says he's spending all his time in the office now. And of course, how many mortgages is he processing at this point? How many refis is he processing at this point? Not too many. Now you have an individual here who had a handyman once a week, spending time at his house doing repairs, probably a nice house, now in jeopardy of losing his job. Can't pay the handyman. He's at the office 8, 10 hours a day trying to get a deal done. This is the real world, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's happening right now in the real world. You don't have to look at the graphs. You don't even have to read the data. Listen to what the handyman here, and I believe it looks like, I don't know for sure, but from the background, it looks like he's possibly located in California. I don't know. But he's telling us what's happening to the U.S. economy and the U.S. consumer right now. People are going to put off on the repairs on the cars. They're putting off repairs on the houses. They're going to just have to live with it, or they're going to try to do it themselves. We are living in a time now where we're not going back to any type of normal, that is for sure. Now, shifting gears here again, here's another article coming from the militarytimes.com. I thought this was quite fascinating. Nearly 70% of active service members are overweight, report finds, or obese. Defense Department data shows the obesity rate has more than doubled over the past decade from 10% to roughly 21%. I bring this up because we are looking at the potential of being in multiple wars. Technically, we're in 2 wars right now. But if things really escalate and heat up, we could be sending troops to multiple places. And then there's a chance of Taiwan. We would be in 3. It's a matter of time before U.S. troops start getting sent to one of these 3 places. More than 2/3 of active duty members are within the overweight or obese range. To me, this is 100% unacceptable. How in the world? I mean, look how we're representing ourselves. We're out of shape. We've been dumbed down. We are not ready for any type of war whatsoever, and our military indicates that. More than half of young Americans now qualify as obese. So imagine if we got into an emergency situation here that had to implement the draft. We're drafting children or kids that half of this country qualify as obese, young men and women. This, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is going to have catastrophic effects in the very near future. I mean, this is absolutely going to destroy the healthcare system in America. We're going to see so much disease in this country that is because of the obesity and the terrible diets. It's really sad. How in the world are we going to remain? I mean, if we even are a superpower at this point, I don't think we're quite the superpower we think we are. How can we be when half of our young people are obese? I mean, if you're physically dying with obesity, which you are, how in the world can we be a superpower? We have more death than anybody in the world. We have the most out of shape population of anybody in the world. And yet we believe we're a superpower. Unbelievable. Here's another one today coming from Yahoo Finance. Argentina central bank hikes rates to 133% on inflation data. This is the 6th time this year they've hiked rates. Let me repeat this. I mean, Argentina central bank hikes rate to 133% on inflation data. And you think that we can't see 10% rates in America, or we can't see 7 or 8%? I mean, and you think that we can't see 10, 20% inflation, 30%, 50% inflation in America? I don't know why everybody thinks that America is immune from depressions, economic collapses, currency collapses, inflation, interest rates going up. When did all this begin where America was immune from all this? People better really, really wake up. We are heading down a one-way road into a granite mountain here, and there's going to be an enormous amount of fragmentation when we hit this mountain. Record, 49% of Americans say high prices are eroding living standards. Last month, this number was 39%. Please comment down below. What is happening with your living standards? Are they improving? I hope they are. I really hope they are. I pray to God for this country. I pray that your living standards are improving. I pray that you're making more money, that you're having more success in your life. But the reality of this is a trend now where a majority of this country are literally in quicksand and they cannot get out. And we've been watching this. This didn't just start a few months ago or a year ago. We've been watching this take place for a number of years, but it was very, very slow. Death by 1,000 cuts. And people would continue to write me, oh, where's the implosion? Where's the collapse, JB? Everything's fine here in Mayberry. Many of those people have now disappeared. You know, people really need to take some time out of their day and do some due diligence and really pay attention to what is going on. People really need to think for themselves, be more self-sufficient. Too many people are spending time going to Disneyland, too much time going to football games, too much time worrying about who Taylor Swift is dating. If people spent more time fixing things in their own lives, paying down their own debts and being more self-sufficient, this country would be a much better place. I continue to pray for everybody in the Middle East on both sides. There's innocent people on both sides. Nobody in their right mind wants war, and people on both sides are being hurt. I think we can all agree to that. And I hope this thing comes to an end, but it looks like it's going to escalate. And innocent people, again, on both sides are going to pay the price. That's how it always is. It's really, really sad. I don't know where the money is coming from for all this. I know that we're involved now in 2 wars and we're spending billions upon billions of dollars while our infrastructure erodes, while the health of this nation erodes, while the dollar erodes. And for me, I don't think you need a crystal ball or you have to be a rocket scientist to see where all this is going. This is going to create more inflation, more chaos, more uncertainty, and at some point it's going to affect these markets. All we can do is do the best we can for ourselves and our families. We cannot stop what's coming. We cannot control this. It's completely out of our control. But there's a few things we can do right now. And you know, people will always say, I don't give any advice. My job is not to give advice, okay? My job is to just make people think, to throw some of these issues out there, some of the data out there, and just make people think so they can come up with a solution that fits their life. But I'm going to give you some solutions today. Number one, security. Well, let's go back. Number one, walk close to God. Number two, security. Nothing else really matters if you don't have God and a way to protect your assets and family. After that, I would be getting in the best physical shape of my life. I don't know how much more to express that, but it's extremely imperative at this point that you're getting in very, very good shape. We don't know what's coming here. We don't know what's here right now. But you want to be able to move. You want to be able to fight. You don't want to be a couch potato, okay? Being in the best possible shape right now is extremely important. And look, it has a lot of benefits. You're going to live longer, less chance of disease, less health issues. It has a lot of positives. But right now, besides the health issues, we don't know if we're going to be in a situation. You could be at a mall and something erupts and takes place. You got to get out of there. You're going to get out of there running at 350 pounds with a sore hip, bad knee. No, you need to be in shape right now. You need to be optimizing your body right now to be running as close to 100% as possible. Maybe you're running at 80%, 90%. That's better than 30% or 40%. Do whatever you can do to improve your physical well-being, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, you need food, you need water. in case the lights go down. Who knows? We get hit with a cyber attack. Very, very easy to do, ladies and gentlemen. These things have been happening. If they can shut down Caesar's Palace and the MGM in Las Vegas, they can shut your water down, they can shut your grid down, they can shut your power down. So make sure you have food and water. So those are a few things we can all be doing right now. Comment down below about some things that you would add to that. These are very general, I understand. But add some things to the list that you think we could be adding to our preparations right now with the environment that we're in. I think those are a few things. If you get started with that, you're going to be way better off. And unfortunately, as I said on Matt's video today, for millions of people, it's already too late. They've lost jobs, they have no money, no savings, no assets, and there's no way you can begin to prepare when you're completely broke. But one thing I will say, if this is you, the one thing you can do right now is start praying to God and getting right with God, and maybe some doors will open. Don't give up. Get out there, get a side hustle, do whatever you got to do. 4 side hustles. Do something to raise capital, get some security, put a little food away, and just do anything you can at this point. We don't know if we have a month, a week, a year, 10 years, nobody knows. But as like many of you are doing, I'm taking every day that I have and I'm continuing to just add to my resources, my preparations, my training, my physical workouts, and my knowledge. Knowledge is power. I'm going to leave it there today. Comment down below. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But again, leave a comment down below on anything you want to talk about or that you want to add as a list of preparations that we could be doing right now. There's 1,000 things. I mean, all the way from putting matches away, candles away, propane away, firewood away, sewing materials, trauma kits, tourniquets, anything. Comment down below. Let me know what you would add to the list. We'll see what happens tonight. And certainly we'll see what happens tomorrow. I look forward to speaking to all of you tomorrow. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Keep your head on the swivel. Exercise situational awareness. And not just because of today, Friday the 13th. You should be doing this every day. Get in the habit of doing this every day. Get off this thing right here. This thing could be dangerous, all right? Paying attention with our heads down. Get off this thing. Stop walking around with a phone in your hand, driving with a phone in your hand. We need to be paying attention to what is happening right here, right now. God bless.